Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fill in the Day. I don't know what I'm going to run this week, so I'm not going to say, depending on what happens, rearrange. But I want to talk about this most recent episode for us here in Canada of Star Trek Discovery. I don't know if they run them once a week in the US or whether it's like binge on CBS All Access. We get it here on CTV Sci-Fi, which used to be our space channel. So bear with me if this isn't new in America. It's new here. If you like this sort of gamer adjacent content, help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/LeannaK. Yes, this is not specifically a video game, but let's face it, a lot of gamers watch Star Trek. To deny this is to deny breathing. I watch Star Trek. I like Star Wars. I like Star Trek. I don't think you have to pick one or the other, especially since they're kind of blurring together. But Ian Alexander, who also played Lev in The Last of Us 2, don't hold that against him, plays a... They're treating it as the first trans character on Star Trek. And when I first heard this, I was like, oh God, because they also hired Blue Del Barrio, I'm not sure. Americans like Barrio, so we'll say Blue Del Barrio, when they first introduced Blue Del Barrio's character, I'm like, oh no, it's another Wesley Crusher. This is bad. And then they got to the episode with Ian Alexander's character, Gray, I believe he's called. But I'm like, oh God, this is going to be a very special episode. But it wasn't. And it was very Star Trek. It was very feels in places it could almost be Life is Strange. But what I liked about it is they didn't beat you over the head with the fact that the characters are non-binary, the characters are trans. Ian Alexander actually said in a USA Today article that it's so nice to see a trans person exist on screen without necessarily needing to exclaim to the world, I'm trans. There was no discussion of pronouns. Blue Del Barrio's character goes by she pronouns all the time. Ian Alexander's character goes by he. They never do the I'm trans. They are two people in a relationship, and it stands on its own. And let me tell you, Ian Alexander is freaking adorable. Like, he's a much better actor than I thought he was based on The Last of Us 2. Very different character, still in this realm of kind of a mystic. I'm a little bit concerned that they're gonna start... It's okay to be trans as long as you're some magical or otherwise inhuman kind of character. I hope that doesn't become a trope in Hollywood, but I do want to give Star Trek credit, even though it's very Star Trek-y, that they didn't do the very special episode. They didn't lecture the audience about the trans experience, and they didn't ground the whole thing in the pain of being transgender. And I thought that was a bigger step in terms of inclusion than if they had lectured the audience. It's an indication that people are telling the truth when they say, if you don't beat me over the head with it, I'm good with it. Just don't lecture me. And I think they did that very, very well. And I was surprised because Star Trek Discovery goes way in on to gay with, Anthony Rapp's character and the Doctor character. I don't know any of their names except Tilly and Michael, I admit. I'm just like, that guy. Oh, and Saru. I know Saru. Because, what's his name? Doug Jones walks like this. He walks like this. And I think that's pretty cool. And I watch it. Oh my God, those shoes they have him in. He is dying in those shoes. Kudos to him. But that's a diversion. I hope that other creators take note of this. And first of all, just cast characters based on who is the best actor or actress for the character. Don't worry about whether they're cisgender or transgender. Because the nice thing about Gray on Discovery is it could have been written for a cisgendered man and it would have been no different, right? It's so Star Trek-y. They're like, alien symbiote type things. It could have been anybody in that role. It was not, oh, it's a trans actor, so we're gonna make the character trans. They claim the character's trans, but they never flat out define them as such. So I think that's my husband at one point was like, "That's a guy." I'm like, "Yeah, trans actor," and I explained who he was, and my husband goes, "Oh, okay." This is the way forward. This is the way to go, because what this means is that trans actors and actresses are not just boxed in playing trans people. They can play characters where the gender of the character is really not important. And I'd really like to see more shows. I mean, we're talking about a show where the female lead's name is Michael, right? So they're already playing with this. It sort of makes sense in that regard. And it's the future, right? It's like 1900 years. I don't know. It jumps. It's like in the future, and then it's in the future, in the future. But we're probably going to have settled this shit by the time we get to the time that Star Trek Discovery is happening in. And so it was cool to see it normalized. It was cool to see the advancement. It was cool that it was a contained story, and it was a full gamut of emotions. And it was, even though Ian Alexander doesn't have a ton of screen time, and by the end of it, I'm like, oh, I hope they bring that character back somehow, at least one other time, because I really liked him. He had a really cool energy on screen. And that's the cool thing when you don't constantly go, this is a trans character, this is a trans actor. The actor can, act, and you can decide whether you like this person on the merits of the character and the actor. And personally, I think that Ian Alexander's character pulled what's her name? Alyssa or something like that. The Blue Del Barrio's character pulled that character away from being Wesley 2.0. Because let me tell you, I was really worried at first that character was going to be non-binary Wesley Crusher. I think perhaps not now. There's the actress. Well, they're she's a female character on the show. I'll just say actor as a neutral term. But Blue Del Barrio has a lot more acting ability than Will Wheaton had back then. So they have that going for them. But yeah, I'm relieved. Because not this past episode, but the episode before that, I was like, what are they doing? Never, ever, ever have a Wesley. Didn't you learn the last time? In Deep Space Nine, having kids around, it was less bothersome because it was a space station, not a military vessel, right? But okay, I was worried, and because I was worried, I thought I'd let people know who are like, It was a very human episode, and I think it overcame some of the cheesiness of the material, and I think that's basically good Star Trek in a nutshell. Good Star Trek in a nutshell is cheesy as fuck, but overcomes it just through sheer earnestness. That's my claim. I'm interested to see what you say about what makes good Star Trek. Help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/LeannaK. Because what makes good Star Trek does not make good Star Wars. Fight me. Thanks for watching.